ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਿਤਾ ਤੂੰ ਹੈ ਮੇਰਾ ਮਾਤਾ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਜੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਨ ਸੁਖ ਦਾਤਾ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰਾ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਹੋਂ ਦਾਸ ਤੇਰਾ ਤੁਝ ਬਿਨ ਅਵਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋ ਮੇਰਾ ਕਰ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੋ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਦਾਤ ਤੁਮਰੀ ਉਸਤਤ ਕਰੋ ਦਿਨ ਰਾਤ ਕਿਛ ਰੂਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਛ ਜਾਤ ਨਾਹੀ ਕਿਛ ਢੰਗ ਨ ਮੇਰਾ ਕਿਆ ਮੋਹ ਲੈ ਬੋਲੇ ਗੁਣ ਬਿਹੂਣ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਿਆ ਨਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਹਮ ਪਾਪੀ ਸੰਗ ਗੁਰ ਉਬਰੇ ਪੁਨ ਸਤ ਗੁਰ ਕੇਰਾ ਡੰਡੋਤ ਬੰਧਨ ਅਨਕ ਬਾਰ ਸਰਬ ਕਲਾ ਸਮਰਥ ਡੋਲਣ ਤੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਹੱਥ ਗਿਆਨ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਮ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਸਾਰ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਕਲ ਰਾਖੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਕਲ ਰਾਖੇ ਮੇਰੇ।
ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਨਰ ਚਾਹਤ ਕਛ ਔਰੈ ਕੀ ਔਰੈ ਪਈ, ਚਿਤ ਵਤ ਰਹਿਓ ਠਗੌਰ, ਨਾਨਕ ਫਾਸੀ ਗਲ ਪਰੀ। ਜਤਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੁਖ ਕੇ ਕੀਏ, ਦੁਖ ਕੋ ਕੀਓ ਨ ਕੋਇ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ, ਹਰ ਪਾਵੈ ਸੋ ਹੋਏ। ਜਗਤ ਬਿਖਾਰੀ ਫਿਰਤ ਹੈ, ਸਭ ਕੋ ਦਾਤਾ ਰਾਮ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਮਨ ਸਿਮਰਤ ਹੈ, ਪੂਰਨ ਹੋਵਹਿ ਕਾਮ। ਝੂਠੈ ਮਾਨ ਕਹਾ ਕਰੈ, ਜਗ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਜਿਉ ਜਾਨ, ਇਨ ਮੈਂ ਕਛ ਤੇਰੋ ਨਹੀਂ, ਨਾਨਕ ਕਹਿਓ ਬਖਾਨ। ਨਰ ਚਾਹਤ ਕਛ ਔਰੈ ਕੀ ਔਰੈ ਪਈ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਸ਼ਵਰ ਸ਼ਤਰ ਤਖਤ ਦੇ ਮਾਲਕ ਸੱਚਾ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਨ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ ਮਿਹਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ ਹਨ। ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਹਾਂ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਮਿਹਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਸਾਂ ਬਖਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਸਕੀਏ। ਅਸੀਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਰਬਾਰ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤੇ ਹਨ। ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨਾ ਹੈ, ਕੋਟਾਨ ਕੋਟ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, we're so grateful to Guru Sahib Ji that they've been allowed us to be able to come into their darbar this evening, to be able to do their darshan and listen to their bani and their part. And with Guru Sahib Ji's kirpa, Sad Sangat Ji, Tan Tan Sadguru Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, we will continue to go through Salok Mahalla Nava, the bani that Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj gave to us all in those last few days and moments when they were in Delhi, in Chandni Chowk, before they were shaheed. And Sad Sangat Ji, just to remind the Sangat that this Uprala, this Katha series is all in remembrance of Tan Tan Sadguru Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj's 350th Shahidi Divas, that we'll be remembering them, commemorating them on the 25th of November. So Sad Sangat Ji, just a benti to note in your diaries, on the 25th of November, it will be the final katha of this bani. We'll go through the final sloks of this bani, and there will be a kanpart on that day as well, a bhog of a kanpart on that day, and also this Guru Kar Sahib, and there'll be an evening divan as well of Kirtan, Katha, Vichara and Sangat. So one to note for the diary, Sad Sangat Ji, on the 25th of November. But as we go through Maharaj's Bani, Sad Sangat Ji, today we're going to cover what Maharaj is saying to us about what effectively we are in a whole circle and cycle of Maya. As the poster said, lost in prosperity. And Guru Sahib Ji will explain to us what does this really mean as we go through the 38th, 39th, 40th and 41st body today. So with Guru Sahib Ji's Kirpa, Sad Sangat Ji, let's go through these sloks and let's understand what Guru Sahib Ji is saying to us. Hanji.
Nar chahat kash aura ki aura pai.
Tan Tan Sadguru Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, they're saying to us, Sad Sangat Ji, Nar chahat kach aure ki aure pai. So what they're saying is nar as in a person, chahat. Chahat means a person is expecting something or wanting to have something. Nar chahat kach aur. And they're wanting these things, aure ki aure pai. However, something else happens. They get something unexpected. They have one expectation, but something else happens. And Guru Sahib Ji is explaining that this is life. This is what happens to a person. As a human being, we have an expectation, but all of a sudden that expectation may not transpire the way we really want it to, and something else happens completely. Let's look at the next punkti where Maharaj explains this a bit further. Hanji.
Chitavat rahyo thagavra nanak fasi gal pari.
Maharaj is saying to us that Chitavat Rahe Tagore. Chitavat means our chit, our mind, our understanding. Chit Rahe Tagore. That there's people out there, Sad Sangaji, where in their chit, in their mind, Rahe Tagore, Thagan wale. Tagore means thug karna. To have ill thoughts or ill plans or conniving plans or expecting to do something devious to somebody. Chitavata Rahe Tagore, Nanak Fasi Galpari. They're saying that some people out there, Sad Sangaji, have these negative, ill-minded thoughts in their mind, but however, if they have them thoughts, Nanak Fasi Galpari, they're just going to be having this noose of jamdoot and death around their neck, and you know, they're going to get whatever they've got coming to them. Nanak Fasi Galpari. So in this slok, what is Guru Sahib Ji saying to us? In a summary format, Maharaj is saying that as a human being, as people, we have an expectation. But that expectation of what might come true may not always happen. And there's people out there who've got ill thoughts, conniving plans, expecting to do something negative to somebody, something conniving. But none of them plans will work out, because at the end of the day, for them, they're just going to have the noose of death tied around their neck. So Satsangaji, let's expand this a bit further. And a Shabad comes to mind, and we're going to try and take references from Gurbani, because that's our source of truth. That is, Guru Sahib Ji gives us everything. And Maharaj said to us in a Shabad by Bhagat Farid Ji. And Bhagat Farid Ji, Satsangaji, one day are walking by a river. And Bhagat Farid Ji, they see a crane. A crane, a bagla. In Gurmukhi is called a bagla. This crane is stood next to a river, and he's playing with a fish. And he's probably going to eat this fish, but he's like poking at this fish, and he's playing with this fish at the side of this river. And Bhagat Farid Ji is seeing this whole scenario. And as they're seeing this, as the crane is playing and pecking at this fish, a hawk swoops down, grabs the crane, and takes it away. It's a predator. It's gonna just that's a demise done. That crane is finished. The hawk has come, grabbed the crane, and taken it away, and the crane is finished. The crane wasn't expecting that. The crane was happily just pecking at this fish, thinking, I'm gonna have my dinner soon. This is me done for the day. Wasn't expecting that hawk to swoop down and grab it and take it away to its demise. Bhagat Farid Ji write in this Bani, say, Farid Daryave Kanne Bagla Betha Kel Kare. That on the banks of this river, Daryave Kanne Bagla, this Bagla, this crane is sat there, and they're saying that Betha Kel Kare. Kel Karende. In the next Punkti, Maharaj would say to us that Kel Karende Hanjno. That as this crane is playing, as it's playing with this fish, then they say, Achinte Baj Pae, Achinte, all of a sudden, this hawk swoops down and grabs that crane. Baj Pae, this Rabde. That barge, that hawk is like God coming down, swooping down to grab it. Who knows what the play is? The crane thought one thing was going to happen, he was going to have his fish, but all of a sudden this hawk has come and grabbed it. Baj Pae, this Rabde. And then Maharaj say, Kela Visariyan. The play has finished. The play is gone. The crane has got nothing else it can do. The crane has gone to its demise. Joman Chit Na Chete San. In this last Punkti, they're saying that whatever you think you have in your mind, Jomana Chete Na Chete San. Those things that you think are not going to happen, Maharaj say, so Gali Rab Kiya. So Gali Rab Hoya. That these things have actually happened. That actually this, what you think isn't going to be the case, it's been done. So we have expectations. But Satsangaji Maharaj said to us that when we have those expectations, don't believe for a moment that they will always come true necessarily. They may not. Effectively, whatever God desires will happen. Whatever is going to happen is up to Babaji, it's up to Guru Sahib Ji, it's up to Vaheguru Ji. This is the play that Guru Sahib Ji is talking to us about. That nar chahat kach aure ki aure pe, that you might have that expectation, but that won't necessarily happen. Chitvat Raheo Tagore Nanak Fasi Galpari. Satsangaji, when we look at that second pangti, Chitvat Raheo Tagore Nanak Fasi Galpari, it reminds me of a Sakhi of Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, they, Satsangaji, was so full of calmness and so connected with Vaheguru Ji. They were Vaheguru Ji themselves. But everything was in hukum. They knew that everything was all about Vaheguru Ji's hukum. And there was a time, Satsangaji, where their elder brother, Prithvi Chand, was ploying deceitfully to have Guru Sahib Ji assassinated and murdered. And Prithvi Chand started to talk and ploy with Suli Khan. Suli Khan was a general from the Mughal regime. Suli Khan, this guard, this governor, this soldier, this general, he ployed with the Prithvi Chand that how they're going to kill, how they're going to assassinate Siddhi Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. But Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj weren't, as we know in that history, they weren't assassinated, they weren't even touched by Suli Khan. And Maharaj write a shabad about Suli Khan in their Bani. Maharaj says, Suli te Narayan Rak. That Vaheguru Ji has protected me from Suli Khan. Because what happened, Satsangaji, Suli Khan and Prithvi Chand were ploying to attack Guru Sahib Ji. But in that ploy, whilst Prithvi Chand and Suli Khan were having this meeting, they were talking and discussing the plans, Suli Khan got on his horse. And as he was on his horse, Prithvi Chand was taking him around and they were looking around and they saw this kiln which was making bricks. And as the horse got towards this kiln, it stampeded, it got scared, it saw something on the floor and it ran towards the kiln and it threw Suli Khan into the kiln, and that was Suli Khan's demise. Suli Khan was burnt alive in that kiln. Maharaj write this shabad, this history is in Gurbani. Maharaj writes, Suli te Narayan Rak, Suli ka haath kahin na pahunche, Suli hoye moana pak. That Suli Khan, he couldn't even get to me. He couldn't do anything. Vaheguru Ji saved me. And Suli hoya muwa napak. That Maharaj is saying that napak means that he was cremated effectively. As a Muslim people are normally buried as part of their final rites when someone passes away from the Muslim faith. But he was effectively cremated. He was napak. In the Muslim tradition, that would be seen as something totally wrong and insultful or disrespectful to do. So Guru Sahib Ji talk about this. There's even a shabad Guru Sahib Ji write that where their son was about to be assassinated by the Brahmin who gave the poisoned yogurt, Siddhi Guru Hargobind Patsha Ji. 3 assassination attempts they had upon them by Prithvi Chand. Again, this Pangti, Maharaj says that Chitvata Raheo Tagore, Nanak Fasi Galpari, Chitvata Raheo Tagore, that Thagan wala, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਿੱਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗਾ, they have that thought that they're going to cause harm, but still Vaheguru Ji looks after those Gurmukhs, those Guru Sajjan, like they looked after Guru Sahib Ji. And that Brahmin who gave the poisoned yogurt to Siddhi Guru Hargobind Patsha Ji, that poison, Maharaj threw it away, the dog ate it and the dog died of that poisoning. And then everybody knew and realized that actually that Brahmin that who gave the yogurt was wrong, and he apologized for what he did. So in this way, Satsangaji, our history shows us that there are many people out there who are not clean of heart. And all we can say is, Maharaj, tusi kirpa karo, bless us and protect us. In that shabad where we say that tu mera pita, tu hai mera mata, that in that shabad we say that Maharaj, you protect us. Tu mera pita, tu hai mera mata, tu mera bandhak, tu hai mera prata, tu mera rakha, sabni thai. You are my protector, Maharaj. You look after me. Because without their support and their protection, Satsangaji, we have nothing. We need Guru Sahib Ji's support. We need their protection. And without their shabad, without their gurbani, without their energy, without their blessings, Satsangaji, we have nothing. So in this way, Chitvat Raheo Tagore Nanak Fasi Galpari, Maharaj protects those gurmukhs. Maharaj protects those people away from anyone who has that negative thinking towards them. Hanji.
जतन बहुत सुख के किए दुख को कियो ना कोय.
So Satsangaji, Maharaj is saying to us here in this next salok, Jatan bahut sukh ke kiye. Jatan means attempts. Bahut means lots. Jatan bahut sukh ke kiye, that we've done lots of attempts for happiness and sukh. Jatan bahut sukh ke kiye, dukh ko kiyo na koy. In the translation, I think it says that we haven't done any attempts for any dukh. That's one way to think about it, because you might think, well, why would we do any attempts for any kind of dukh? But another translation around this Satsangaji is where Maharaj is saying, Jatan bahut sukh ke kiye, that we've made so many attempts in life to achieve happiness. But what attempts have we made to actually eradicate our sorrow and suffering? What have we done that has allowed us to become away from our pain and suffering and sorrow? Instead, we're just chasing after happiness over and over again. And this is what Maharaj is saying, that actually just reflect on that for a moment. That when we go to work, we're earning our money, we're trying to meet our friends to achieve happiness and joy. We're trying to, do whatever we do, go on holidays and all of this good stuff. And by the way, I'm not saying don't do those things. But from a worldly sense, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is saying to us that we do so many attempts in life for happiness and joy. We might go somewhere, we might go on to a restaurant and might eat out, or we might go and see our friends, or we might buy something off Amazon, or we might do anything, some window shopping. We're doing all of those things for our joy. But what are we actually doing to eradicate our dukh and suffering? Have we ever reflected on what is causing our suffering? And if we have reflected upon that, what attempts are we making to get rid of that dukh and that sorrow? This is what Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is saying to us here. Jatan bahut sukh ke kiye, dukh ko kiyo na koy. Satsangat Ji, every day in Sri Rehra Sahib Ji the Path, we hear that pankti, dukh daru sukh rog paya, ja sukh tam na hoy. Let's just reflect upon this pankti for a moment to be able to help us understand what Maharaj is saying in this salok. Dukh daru sukh rog paya. Maharaj is saying to us that dukh, that sorrow, that suffering is a daru. Daru here means a medicine. Dukh daru sukh rog paya. So where we have suffering, Maharaj is saying that's a medicine. But where we have happiness, that's a disease and illness. It's very cryptic. What is Maharaj really saying to us here? What is their lesson and teaching? Remember, Satsangat Ji, that Tan Sadguru Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, their whole Gurbani is here to help us connect with Vaheguru Ji. This is a spiritual journey. Everything that Maharaj is telling us is about us connecting to Paramatma, to Vaheguru, and actually making us realize that this physical world that we see in front of us is false. We're going to come on to that in the next couple of sloks in a moment. So if we keep that in mind, Maharaj is saying to us, and Maharaj knows us. They know that we are human beings and this is how we are. And we are constantly going to go out there to try and find happiness and joy within the world, the materialistic world. But Satsangat Ji, with that joy and happiness we see from the materialistic world, we will always get some level of dukh from that. And when we come into a state of sorrow and sadness, that's when we remember Vaheguru Ji. We forget Guru Sahib Ji and Vaheguru, we forget our part and Nitnem when we're in joy. This is why that joy and happiness is a dukh, it's a rog. It's a painful thing, it's a disease. Because when we're in that happiness and joy, we forget Vaheguru. We forget to be grateful. We forget that apa Gurdware aiye. We forget that we have a Guru. We forget to do our Nitnem sometimes. We might forget and we might think, I'll just shortcut my Nitnem and not go through it, diligently and carefully with love and devotion. That's the Dukh daru, Sukh rog paya. That's the Sukh rog. But the dukh, when we have our pain and suffering, something happens in our life, somebody passes away, or our job or our career takes a downward turn for whatever reason, or we have financial issues, or anything else happens in life. That's dukh rog paya, and in that dukh, we actually then remember Vaheguru Ji. Dukh daru maaf karna, dukh daru sukh rog paya. Ja sukh, Maharaj says ja sukh, but when there is sukh, tam na hoi. Tam here means satsang ji ke oh ichha nahi hegi. We don't have that desire to want to come to Guru Sahib Ji. We don't have that desire when we have sukh. Ja sukh, when there is sukh, tam na hoi. So in short, what Maharaj is saying to us here is that when we have lots of happiness around us and joy, we forget Paramatma, we forget Guru Sahib Ji, we forget God. But when we are in a state of suffering and we are desperate for help, that's when we remember God. And this is what Maharaj is saying to us in that Shabad, in that Pankti, Dukh daru sukh rog pya ja sukh tam na hoi, tu karta karna main nahi. Vaheguru Ji, tusi sab kuch karde ho, you do everything, tu karta karna main nahi, I can't do anything. Jaho kari na hoi, I'm not capable of doing anything. You do everything. Satsanga Ji, this is about hukam. And what happens is, this is when we get lost in prosperity. We wish everybody a good prosperous life. We wish everyone good wishes and, wealth and health and happiness and joy. But Satsanga Ji, sometimes we get lost in that prosperity. And when we get lost in that, that's when that is a suffering. Because that's when we're separated from Vaheguru Ji. That is when we are separated from our Guru. And that's where we want to avoid that pitfall. We want to be careful of what that really means to us. Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji also said to us in another Shabad, to expand on this a bit further. Maharaj says, Sabko mange sukh ko. Everybody is asking for sukh. Sabko mange sukh ko. Dukh na mange koi. That nobody's asking for dukh, because nobody really naturally wants dukh. We don't want suffering, do we? It's not something naturally you ask for. Hana? Kadi apa ardas kiti ke Maharaj manu dukh deo. It's not something naturally we ask for. Right? We always ask for sukh, because that's what we hope and expect. But Maharaj saying that, Sabko mange sukh ko. Everybody's asking for that sukh. Dukh na mange koi. But nobody's asking for dukh. Maharaj continue in the next Pankti and they say, Sukho ko dukh agla. Sukhe ko dukh agla. Whenever we have any sukh, the next thing we're going to get is dukh. Manmukh booj na hoy. That the manmukhs are the ones who can't actually understand this. That how does this play all work out? When we ask for sukh, Satsanga Ji, Maharaj is saying to us, you always are going to get dukh. And if we are a manmukh, if we are somebody who is constantly chasing our mind and stuck in the worldly desires and stuck without any of the gurmat and the Guru's understanding of the world, then this is when we're going to get caught. That's when we're going to get caught. Like last week we were talking about gurmat and manmat, and how the mat is the understanding of what Guru's wisdom is, but the worldly mat is what gets us stuck. And that's when the man has no quality control. It's got no filter. The mind will say, I have a thought, I'm going to go and do this today. And if the mat is man-mat, if it's worldly based, we're going to fall into a trap, and the quality check's not going to be there. But if we've got gurmat, Guru's wisdom, if we've got Guru's understanding, and we understand there's a Shabad that Maharaj explains many things to us about how to control our worldly desires, how to control the slander and the negativity, then we won't even say those words, because the thought might come, but the mat will say, Oi, chup karke beja. You're not going to say those words because they're negative, they're slandering. And Guru Sahib Ji says to me, don't slander anybody. Guru Sahib Ji says to me, don't lie. Guru Sahib Ji says, tell the truth. And if my thoughts are negative, the Gurmat would say, I don't want to deal with you. Go away. So this is what this Shabad is saying, that Sukhe ko dukh agla. We will only get dukh if we have a manmukh kind of understanding. Manmukh booj na hoy. So what do we do here? We want to try to adopt Guru Sahib Ji's Gurmat. So we're not manmukhi bande. We're not manmukh insan. We don't want that. And Sad Sangat Ji, look, this is why we started this katha to say that Guru Sahib Ji, Thada Shukrana Maharaj, thank you to you that you've allowed the Sangat and all of us, me included, to come into Sangat with all of us, to be in Guru Sahib Ji's sanctuary. We're so grateful for that. We're so fortunate for that too. And with this blessing from Guru Sahib Ji, we can hopefully adopt some level of Gurmat, something that we can take away. So in this way, Maharaj saying to us, Jatan bahut sukh ke kiye, dukh ko kiyo na koi, that we're constantly chasing happiness, but we're never actually thinking about how do I deal with the dukh that I have deep down. So how do we actually deal with that dukh? We talked a lot about chasing the sukh. We talked a lot about the worldly stuff. So how do I get rid of that dukh? Whatever that dukh might be. That dukh could be separation from your Guru. That's a dukh. You feel the pain that I'm not close to my Guru. There could be a dukh that you think that I'm not worthy to come to my Guru. There could be a dukh that you're thinking I can't deal with my anger issues. There could be a dukh that says I've got too much greed. How do I deal with this? But you acknowledge the greed. You could have a dukh that says I have so much attachment to all my possessions and my family and I can't get rid of these obsessions. Maharaj, help me. I'm struggling with this. I might have anxiety issues. Might have some depressions. I might be in a dark space in my mind and I'm going through some difficulties in life. Numerous kinds of difficulties. We all have them. How do I deal with that dukh? Sad Sangat Ji, Guru Sahib Ji nip this in the bud and they tell us straight away, so simply, Dukh Panjan. Shabad tusi sunya, you've heard this Shabad. Panjan is a very strong word. It's a very strong word, Dukh Panjan. Maharaj says that dukh is smashed to smithereens. Dukh Panjan, what? How? Tera Naam Ji. Dukh Panjan, Tera Naam. Maharaj repeated it twice. Dukh Panjan Tera Naam Ji. Dukh Panjan Tera Naam. Aठ पहर आराध्य पूर्ण सतगुर ज्ञान कि महाराज कृपा करो that your naam, your simran, your bhakti, your meditation on you, dukh panjan tera, will eradicate, smash my dukh to bits. We just have to control the mind. Dukh is something very subjective. Dukh is what our mind perceives. It's everyone will feel dukh separately and differently. To one person, what is dukh? To another person could be a sukh. To another person, that could be really deep and grave and sorrowful and upsetting. But to another person, it's just a blip. Dukh is in our mind. So how do we deal with that? And this is why Naam Simran is so important, through meditation, controlling the mind, controlling them thoughts with Guru's mat, being able to put a quality check on them, coming to calm our mind down, bring some calmness into our life and into our hearts. Sad Sangat Ji, anything that's difficult or challenging today, tomorrow will be easy. Tomorrow will be simple to resolve. Because you're approaching it with a fresh head. You're approaching it from a place of stillness where you've got that calmness inside you. Where Maharaj is with you and you can feel that energy with you. And when we feel it in that way, Sad Sangat Ji, no issue is too big. No issue is too big. We can deal with them. And obviously, in Sangat, when we come together as brothers and sisters, if there's anything we need to share within the Sangat or with our brothers and sisters, we build our network, we build our relationships as Khalsa brothers and sisters, our wider brothers and sisters. We can also help each other out because we have those virtues from Guru Sahib Ji. So you might think, Sad Sangat Ji, that what's the point? Why do we even yearn for anything? Why do we even try our hardest to have a career and earn for our family? You know, why? Because Sad Sangat Ji, this is the life that we've been given. This is the world. And Guru Sahib Ji wants us to live in a Gristi world. The Guru Sahib Ji wants us to be righteous, dharmi banna, having dharam, but also change karam karne, by doing good deeds through Maharaj's virtues of compassion, love, respect, humility, forgiveness, patience. All of these are great virtues that we talk about. And if we can adopt them, Sad Sangat Ji, we can get through this life and achieve what Guru Sahib Ji is asking us to do. Hanji.
Kaho Nanak sun re mana har paava so hoye.
Sadhguru, Siddhi Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is reminding us here something really important. Kaho Nanak sun re mana har paava so hoye. That whatever Vaheguru Ji wants to have happen will happen. Done. We can't challenge that or change that. Whatever is going to be is going to be. The question is, how are we going to react to that? How are we going to deal with that? Now, this is something that we can all reflect upon. We all have challenging situations in life, either today or we had them yesterday or we'll have them tomorrow. How are we going to deal with those challenges, and how have we dealt with them before? What lessons can we learn from those difficulties we've faced? Or what lessons can we learn from those happy times we've faced? Let's not just talk about the sadness. There's also been happy times in our life as well, right? You know, we have children, we have family, we have our partners, our husbands, our wives. You know, we celebrate at home with family, we earn and we have our achievements. Those are also happy times. Let's reflect upon them too. But how do we deal with those in our mind? Do we remember Vaheguru Ji in those moments when we say, Maharaj, Thoda Shukar hai. I'm so grateful to you. That's the Gurmukh way of approaching that. The Manmukh way would be to forget Paramatma completely and say, hey man, I achieved this, I got a big bonus and I got X, Y, and Z. And we forget the gratefulness. That's the Manmukh way of dealing with it. But this is something that we can reflect upon ourselves in our own homes and our minds. Say, how are we dealing with that? So with this comes back to Hukam. Hukam, Sad Sangat Ji, is the very first thing that Siddhi Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj teaches us in Sri Japji Sahib Ji da Path. Hukam, Rajai Chalana, Nanak, Likhya Naal. We all know this pankti. Let's all say it together. Hukam, Rajai Chalana, Nanak, Likhya Naal. It's all about Hukam. This is the answer to the very first question in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Give satyara hoyi hai. Give kude tutte pal. How do I become truthful? How do I break this falseness, this whole veil of fakeness, this maya? How do I break this veil, knock it down, and how do I realize that this is just a play? Hukam, Rajai Chalana, Nanak Likhya Naal. This is how we can become truthful. This is how we can understand maya. This is how we can break away from this falseness. And then in the next body, Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj goes into depth. They actually expand on this. They tell us that Hukmi hovan akar, hukm na keha jai, hukmi hovan ji, hukm mile vadiyai, hukmi uttam neech, hukm lekh dukh sukh paiya hai. Look at this. Hukmi uttam neech. It's all because of Hukam that there are great people in the world and lowly people in the world. Hukmi uttam neech, Hukam likh dukh sukh paiya. This dukh and this sukh, ode Hukam de naal hai. Let's just reflect on that for a moment. As Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj say to us, Kaho Nanak sun re mana har paave so hoye. Same thing. Hukmi uttam neech, hukum likh dukh sukh paiye. This dukh and this sukh is all because of Maharaj's hukam. We can't forget that. But how are we going to react to that? Ikna hukmi bakhsis, ek hukmi sadapa vaiye, hukme andar sabko, bar hukum na koi. Nanak hukme je bujhai, ta home kehe na koi. If we understand that this is all in Vaheguru Ji's hukam, the dukh and the sukh, the good times and the bad times, whatever that might be in anyone's life, this is all part of Maharaj's play. And if we understand that, then there's no ego in this. We will not have any ego. We will not have this main kita, I did this, or mere naal kyo hoya, why did this happen to me? Why is it always about the me? Maharaj, this is you. You make this event, this occasion happen, be it dukh or be it sukh. Let me learn from this. What do I learn? What lesson do I take away from that? That's the essence of every event and conversation and thing that happens in life on an everyday basis. What do I learn from that moment? This is, Sad Sangat Ji, something we can take away from what Maharaj is saying to us in this salok, that instead of trying to do so many attempts to obtain material worldly happiness and joy, let's make an attempt to get rid of our deep underlying sorrows. And then we'll have an eternal joy, an eternal happiness. That simaro sukha pavo, the one that Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj talks about in Sri Sukhmani Sahib Ji, that part. Simaro sukha pavo. That sukh is not the worldly sukh. That isn't a sukh where, Maharaj, we're doing a transaction, okay, we're going to do so much bhakti meditation, Maharaj, give me the worldly stuff. It's not that sukh. This is the internal sukh, the eternal sukh, the sukh that really comes to our heart and really helps us connect with Vaheguru Ji. Apa also kamangiye, and also milega Sad Sangat Ji, will get it by understanding that everything is in with Vaheguru Ji's hukum. So let's not get lost in all of our prosperous things that we have in the world. Let's get lost in the devotional love of Guru Sahib Ji and Vaheguru. Let's get lost in that. Because when we're lost in that love and that devotion, Sad Sangat Ji, in that faith and that belief, that experience, that Vaheguru Ji tusi mere naal ho, so Satguru Pyara mere naal hai, jite kithe minul le chadai. That wherever, Maharaj, I am, tusi mere naal ho. You're with me. And whatever trouble I'm in, you save me. Let's have that faith. And Maharaj will always help us. Hanji.
Jagat Pekhari Firta Hai Sabko Data Ram.
So Guru Sahib Ji continue this theme here, Sad Sangat Ji. They're saying Jagat Pekhari Firta Hai. That the whole world, Sabko Data Ram, that whole world, everything is actually after something. Jagat Pakhari. Pakhari means they're beggars. Everyone's asking for something. Jagat Pakhari firt hai. Wandering around firt. Looking around everywhere. Sab here, Sad Sangat Ji, doesn't just mean all humans. Sab means everything that has a consciousness. Everything that's alive. Chetan Srishti. We have Jada Srishti, which is like Jada as in roots, which is anything that's vegetation, trees, grass, plants. All of that is Jada Srishti. But Chetan Srishti is anything that has a consciousness, that has a conscious state. Animals, humans, maybe bacteria even. Anything that is living with a conscious state. Maharaj saying sab, all of that. Sabko data ram, jagat pakhari firt hai, sabko data Ram, Data, they're looking for something from the Data, the one who is Ramya Hoya, Data, Ram, that is everywhere. We are all walking around begging for something, asking for something. What does this really mean? Sad Sangat Ji, you don't have it much nowadays, but in the times of India, at the time when Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji were around, our Guru Sahib Ji were around, there would be kingdoms where kings would look after the janta, look after the population of the kingdom. Well, some kings did. Not all kings were so merciful and benevolent and kind. They were quite brutal, some of them. But some kings who were kind, they would look after their population, their people. And what they would do is, if anybody needed any help or support, or even food and ration, and they were so poor, they'd go to the king, do a benti, and the king would give them their food and flour and grain or whatever they might need. Those kings were very kind. And in that way, the person asking for that would be so grateful to the king, saying, you are like God to me. You're giving me food. I'm hungry, but you've nourished me. We don't have that nowadays. But we go to the supermarket, for example. And I'm going to get to the point in a minute. But we go to the supermarket, we get our food, and it's kind of like easily done. But in those days, if you think about the king, he's got all that food. The person who's asking for the food, he sees the king as godlike. But actually the king, where did he get his food from? He had to go and get it from somewhere. He had to go and ask somebody or grab it from somewhere. So he's got his food. Now the person he's asked the food from, That person could be a farmer, and they've just taken his crop and or he sold it to the king. And the farmer's had to grow that food from somewhere. He's had to go and get some seeds. He's had to go and get some water. He's had to go and do something. There's a whole chain of events going on there. In order for the poor person to get the food from the king, the king's had to get it from somewhere. That food has had to be grown. Someone's had to make the effort. They've had to go and get some seeds or some other things, some fertilization or whatever it might have been, to be able to go and get it. They might have had to get some manure from the cow and get some things like that, to help feed it all. There's a whole chain of events. Ultimately, it comes down to the earth, the water, the sun, the heat. Comes back to nature. In the same way today, we might go to Tesco and get our food from a supermarket, but that food has had to go through a supply chain, had to go through some trucks. People have had to ask and had some deals with suppliers. The suppliers have had grown the food, produced the food, had it manufactured and put into packaging, sent over to the supermarket. But before that, there's a whole chain of people involved in making that food get to the supermarket so we can buy it. But it still comes from the earth, still comes from water, still comes from heat, from the sun, still comes from nature. What's the point I'm saying? Jagat pakhari firt hai, sabko data ram. Everybody is running around speaking to someone, expecting something back from them in order for them to make a living or have something in exchange. There's always an exchange going on. But with Vaheguru Ji, there is no exchange. O sabna nu dindaya. That data gives everyone. And like we expect an exchange from somebody, whether it might be a praise or whether it might be, money, beta. It could be some kind of an exchange. But Vaheguru Ji has no expectation of any exchange. They have no expectation because they are the data. They are the one who give everyone everything. Gura ek dehe bujai. We read this every day in Sri Japji Sahib Jada Path. Gura ek dehe bujai. Sabna jiyan ka ek data. So main visar na jai. Look how important that pankti becomes now. When we think that Maharaj, Vaheguru Ji, is the data that gives us everything. Everything. They don't go asking and expecting an exchange to happen. They just give. We are the beggars asking them to give us something. Or we're the ones that expect an exchange. Jagat pakhari firt hai. Sabko data Ram. Sabanu den wala hega Paramatma Vaheguru. And we read this in Japji Sahib every day. Satsangat Ji, with Guruji's kirpa, why am I trying to bring these panktiyan in from Baniya that we read every day? Because it brings a relevance and an importance, and then all of a sudden an understanding to what we're reading in our Bani actually has a connection to what we're learning, not just in this katha, but what we do every day. Gura ek dehe bujai. Maharaj, bless me to help me understand this one thing from you. Gura ek dehe bujai. Sabna jiyan, all living beings. Sabna jiyan ka ek data, ek paramatma. The one who gives someone everything. Sabna jiyan ka ek data, so main visar na jai. May I not forget this? Satsangat Ji, we don't want to forget that. That Paramatma gives us everything. And in this way, Satsangat Ji, we can understand what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is saying to us. Jagat pakhari firt hai, sabko data ram. And asita jachakya. We are the beggars. Maharaj give us a shabad that certainly reminds me to come from a place of humbleness. That Maharaj teaches us, they say, Jachik mangai dan deh pyarya. That I'm a beggar. Satsangat Ji, I've mentioned this shabad before as well. And some shabads, they just stick with you. They just stick with you, and you can't unforget them because they're just there and they help us understand on a daily basis how Vaheguru Ji helps us. Jachik mangai dan deh pyarya, devan har datar main nit chitarya. Nikotna jaye mool atul pandharya, nanak sabad apar, tin sab kich sarya. Maharaj saying to us that we might be the beggars asking Vaheguru Ji for everything that we need, but ultimately, never forget this, that their pandar, their treasure troves, their warehouses are full of data. They're full of even things that we don't even think about asking for. And they will give them to us. But Maharaj say to us, Nanak sabad apar. Tin sab kich sarya. Everything is in the Shabad. Everything is in Gurbani for us. And if we can adopt that in our hearts, Sangaji, we've got everything. Sade ko koi kami nahi hegi. There's no lack of anything then. We have everything from Guru Sahib Ji and Gurbani. Hanji.
Kahu nanak man simrat hai puran hovah kaam.
So Satsangaji, Guru Sahib Ji say to us that if we remember and meditate on Guru Sahib Ji, on Vaheguru Ji, in everything that we do, Kahu nanak man simrat hai puran hovah kaam. That sade sare kaam pure ho jane. All of our tasks, our affairs, our deeds, anything that we're doing, they will all be complete. Now this reminds me, Sad Sangaji, whenever there's an Anand Karaj, we recite a Shabad, Kita Lodiye Kam So Har Pe Aakhiye, Karaj Deh Savar Sat Gur Sat Saakhiye. That Shabad is about this, saying, Maharaj, Tusi Kirpa Karo. We're doing this Ardas, Maharaj, I'm begging you, please help me resolve and complete this Karaj that we're about to do. We often recite that Shabad at the start of an Anand Karaj. But Satsangaji, we can recite that Shabad at any time we feel we need Maharaj to be with us before we do anything. We can remember that Shabad, Kita Lodiye Kam So Har Pe Aakhiye. I'm asking you, Maharaj, that this Kam I'm about to do, please make it successful. Kita Lodiye Kam So Har Pe Aakhiye, Karaj De Savar Sadgur Sat Saakhiye. We can ask for that. There's even some sloks that we can also remember and we recite as well. Tar jire ik tek tu lahe bidani aas. Nanak naam te aiye karaj aave ras. Last pankti, Nanak naam te aiye karaj aave ras. Sade karaj sare pure ho jande ne. All of our karaj, our deeds that we're trying to do, they all get complete when we remember Vaheguru Ji, when we remember Naam. And Satsangaji, in this way, Siddhi Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is saying the same thing to us. Kaho nanak man simarte hai puran hove kaam. That if we remember Vaheguru Ji in everything we do, sare sade kaam safle ho jane hain. No matter how challenging it might be, no matter how hard it might be, all of those deeds will just work. They'll just happen the way Vaheguru Ji needs them to happen. Of course, we have to make the effort. We have to make the effort. It's not by default we can assume that we just do the ardas and, a magical hand will appear and all of our jobs will be done and we can just sit back and sit on the sofa and just watch it all happen. That doesn't really occur. That's not reality. The reality is we do the ardas, we ask Maharaj to give us the strength, the courage, the ability, the blessings to do what we need to do. With Guruji's blessings, we can then complete that task by putting in the effort, the dasa nohandi kirt kamai, the hard work that we can do with Guruji's blessing. And then sare sade karaj pure ho jande ne. All of our deeds are then complete. Hanji.
Jhootha maan kaha kara jag supne jo jaan.
So Guru Sahib Ji, in this final slok for today's Katha Satsang Ji, Maharaj saying to us, Jhoot hai maan kaha kara. Jhoot hai. Here, it simply means falseness. Jhoot hai maan. Why are we in love? Why are we connected and got this pride and ego of this falseness? Jhoot hai maan kaha kara. Jag sapne jo jaan. To understand what Maharaj is saying about the falseness and why we have an ego or pride towards this false entity, Maharaj explained this in the rest of the Pankti. Jhoothe maan kaha kare, jag supne jo jaan. What Maharaj is saying to us in the context here is know this world to be like a dream. Why do we think this is real? Why do we think that this is permanent? Why do we think that this is going to be with me forever? ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਝੂਠਾ ਆ ਝੂਠ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ it's perishable it's temporary not that it's a lie it does physically exist it's not like it doesn't it does physically exist you can touch it feel it experience it it's here it's not like it's a dream in that respect but this is not the final destination we are going to leave this place one day this is why it's false. So Maharaj is saying, why are we getting pride and ego and such a connection with something that is false? That one day will not be here because we won't be here. Or this body, Charandeep Singh won't be here one day. I won't be in this body. So why am I thinking that this is real and why am I connected to it with so much pride and ego? This is the jhoothe maan kaha kare. Jag supne jo jaan. Know this to be just a dream. Like when we have a dream, I know sometimes, I don't know if you have really vivid dreams. I have vivid dreams like the movies just going on in my head. And then I wake up in the morning, I'm like, did that really happen? And I wake up, and I think Anoop has those kind of dreams as well, don't you? No? I'm sure you do. I have these dreams, and they're so vivid, and you wake up and you're like, I remember the texture of the wall that was in this room. It was so clear. I remember the conversation I had. I remember how I felt. And when I wake up and I'm like, that was just a dream. This world is like that dream. This world is just like that. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is telling us this. So this makes me understand, if we're going to do a bit of a chart on this Salok, Maharaj is saying that actually wake up. Wake up, because this isn't reality. The true end destination in that respect. This is a transitory plane of existence. We're going to go through this. And one day we're going to leave this body. And you might think, this is a bit harsh. Like, really? Well, let's listen to the next pankti that Guru Sahib Ji explained to us about what this really means. Hanji.
Inma kash tero nahi nanak kahyo bakhan.
Tan Tan Satguru, Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. Maharaj said, Inme kach tero nahi. Simple to understand. Inme kach tero nahi. None of this is yours. None of this is mine. Inme kach tero nahi nanak kahyo bakhan. I'm telling you this is the truth. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is saying this to us. None of this is yours. None of this is going to go with you. So why do we have that pride and that connection, that ego that this is mine? This is the point that Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is trying to teach us. And when we reflect upon this satsang, you might think, well, I've got my family near me. I've got my loved ones near me. They're here with me right now. Okay, I might lose the car. I might lose the house. Or I might not have the food that I want today. I might have it tomorrow. I might lose his clothes and I might get something else. I get that, but what about my family? They're going to be with me right to the very end. Yeah, they might be with you right to the very end, but they're not going to be with you any further on. Because what happens? Let's just reflect. When this body is just a body, and there's no Atma in this body left, this Atma, this Charandeep Singh, this thing is gone. This body is just going to be laying there. And what the family do after that, they will take that body and they'll wash it, they'll clean it, and then we'll do a search part, and then this body will be put into a box, or in Punjab in India it's put onto a wooden bed, and then it's carried to the cremation ground. And when it's carried to the cremation ground, or we take it in a funeral hearse in the UK, and then it's put into the crematorium and it's put into the fire. This body that was once a body, and the family were caring for this body, still care for the body, but this guy's no longer here. The family have to say bye to it. The family have to leave it. And when that body is in a box and it's pushed into that fire, nobody can do anything. The family aren't going to go with you. And when the fire is extinguished and all that is left is dust, we collect all the dust, the ashes, we say, the full. We take them to a darya, a river, could be Kiratpur Sahib, it could be locally, it could be anywhere. You take it to a river and you put the dust of that human remains into the river and it's gone. Done. Where's the permanency in that? There's no permanency. This is what Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is saying to us. In mein kach tero nahi. Charandeep Singh, none of this is yours. Nothing is going to go with you. So why do we have that pride and that ego that we're so connected to this? Ke mera hai, meriyan cheezain hai. None of this is mine. None of this is ours. Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is teaching us this. In mein kach tero nahi, Nanak kahyo bakhan. Satsang Ji, Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj remind us in this Shabad that we are actually lost and forget Khana, Pina. I've said this before as well. This Shabad is just sticks in my head all the time. Khana, Pina, Hasna, Sona. We do this every day. We eat. Khana, Pina, we drink. Hasna, we have a laugh. And it's okay to have a laugh, by the way. Maharaj is saying not to not have a laugh. You can enjoy life, right? Have a laugh. Khana, Pina, Hasna, Sona, sleep. But in all of those things, we have forgotten something. Visar gaya hai marana. Ek din we're gonna go. So what do we do? I'm going to finish with this Bhakti Satsanga Ji. I know this has been a bit hard hitting, and I know it's been maybe a bit touch morbid. We've been talking about dukh and sorrow and you know, cremation. But Satsanga Ji, Sri Guru, I think it's Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, if I'm not mistaken, Maharaj maaf karyo. Maharaj said to us, Nanak Satgur Petiye, Puri Hove Jogat. Maharaj saying to us that Nanak Satgur Petiye, that learn this Puri Hove Jogat, learn this Jogti, learn this framework, learn this way of living life. Hasandeyan, Khelandeyan, Penandeyan, Khavandeyan. Viche Hove Mukt. That whilst you're playing, whilst you're laughing, whilst you're eating, whilst you're wearing your clothes, live in the framework of the Guru. Do all of those things. Maharaj is not saying to us, don't do that. Maharaj is saying to us, do those things. This is what life is. Live your life within the framework of the Guru. Within the framework and the gurmat that the Guru's given us. And when we live life in that way, then viche hove mukat. We can achieve liberation whilst living in this life in this way. So Satsanga Ji wanted to hopefully finish on a more of a positive note. So I apologize that we've gone down maybe a sorrowful path, but these are the messages that Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is giving us, constantly reminding us that this life is a dream. Naam japo, because time is not on your side, and this is not real. And they're constantly reminding us, Simran karo, Paramatma nu yaad karo, Naam japo, Bhagti karo, Gurmat ucharo, bring Gurmat into your life. Constant reminders in every slok. So in this way, Satsanga Ji, we finish for today's Katha and these Vichara. But going through today's Katha, Satsanga Ji, I may have said many things that may have offended the Sangat, or may have said things that are certainly incorrect, or I've got my Bhakti wrong from Guru Sahib Ji. But I ask for your forgiveness, Satsanga Ji, because that's never the intention. I'm always trying to, with Guruji's Kirpa, trying to explain things from a place of love and what Guru Sahib Ji is saying to us, and what do I see from this, so we can share that together. If anybody wants to do any vichara after the Katha, we can certainly have conversations, because I know some of this is quite hard hitting. We can have some conversations afterwards. But I only ask for Guru Sahib Ji's blessings, and I ask Guru Sahib Ji and do that ardas that Maharaj bless us all as your children with your Gurmat, with your understanding of Gurbani, so we can all live a life that we can be mukat in this life and achieve that liberation, and we can all be blessed with Guru Sahib Ji's Chardi Kala and Naam Diyan Data, and Maharaj Kirpa Karan that we can connect with their Gurbani. I ask for your blessings, Satsanga Ji, that we can continue this seva. Deho Sadhana Sisadiyan, Jo Hove Sahib Se Mel, Lekhe Kitana Chutiye Kin Kin Pulanhar, Baksanhar Baksle Nanak Parutar. Let's go through this last slok together, Satsanga Ji, and then we'll complete today's Katha Ji. Hanji
Tutha man
kaha kare, Jag supne jo jaan, इनमें कछ तेरो नहीं, नानक कहो बखान। वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह। गुरु प्यारी साध संगत जी, गुरु ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨਾ। ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ, ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਵਿਚਾਰਾ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹੋ, ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ। that support, ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, is invaluable, so thank you so much. With Guru Sahib Ji's kirpa, Sad Sangat Ji, just want to let you know a couple of important things that are coming up, Sad Sangat Ji. So the posters and everything are yet to be made, but on the 17th of November, Sad Sangat Ji, at this Guru Kar, we'll be starting a 9-day Simran job. For 9 days, we will be remembering Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj in the run-up to Maharaj's Shahidi Divas on the 25th of November. So as I was saying before, on the 25th of November, there will be a Sri Akhandpad Sahib Bhog in the morning, and on that evening, we will finish the Katha, and there will be Kirtan as well in the evening. So all the posters will be sent out. But from the 17th of November in the evenings through to the 25th of November, there will be a 9-day Simran job. Also, Sad Sangat Ji, we're just working through the planning, but we'll be doing on the 22nd of November, Saturday morning, Amrit Vela Divan at this Guru Gar Sahib, probably downstairs. So we'll be having Amrit Vela with Simran, Nityanem, and then we will, hopefully with Guruji's Kirpa, have a 3-hour Salok Mahalla Nava Simran job, where we as Sangat come together and do a job of Salok Mahalla Nava di Bani, Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's Bani, together as Sangat. So that's on the 22nd of November, Saturday morning, from 4 a.m. through to 9 a.m. So again, just letting you know, Sad Sangat Ji, to just keep these dates in mind. I will put out the updates on the community group. If anybody's not in the Basics of Sikh Yorkshire Community WhatsApp group, there's a barcode on the window outside. Please scan that and join the group so you can be notified of all upcoming events over this November month. And also, Sad Sangat Ji, I'll just mention Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Maharaj's Avtar Purab on the 5th of November. So this Guru's Kar Sahib, there's going to be a Ladi of Akhandpad Sahibs happening. And then on the 5th of November, on the Wednesday, there will be Divan here in the morning. And then there will be Katha on Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji from 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. on that evening as well. So all these Divans, there's so many things happening in November. But again, with Guruji's Kirpa, we'll put out the posters so everybody can be informed. So I ask for your forgiveness, Sad Sangat Ji, and I ask by Santokh Singh and by Amarjot Singh to come onto the stage for Kirtan Di Seva. And again, apologies to them for taking a few more minutes than I expected. Again, they can have their half an hour of Kirtan to 7:40 p.m. So ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ Sad Sangat Ji will have ਅਰਦਾਸ and ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ। ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬੇਨਤੀ Sad Sangat Ji ਬੈਠੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ, ਕੀਰਤਨ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੁਣੀਏ, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਇਲਾਹੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਸੁਣੀਏ। ਤਾਂ ਆਓ Sad Sangat Ji, ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਆਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਅਮਰਜੋਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਪ੍ਰਭ ਸਰਨਾਗਤੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ हर मन बसत एक अखर हर मन बसत नानक होत निहाल निहाल आनंद गुण निधान गुरु गुरु गरीब गुरु गरीब निवाज निवाज आनद रंग बेनोद हमारा 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 आनद रंग आनद रंग बेनोद हमारा आनद रंग बेनोद हमारा आनद रंग बेनोद हमारा आनद रंग बेनोद हमारा नामो घाव प्राण आधार आनंद रंग विनोद अमर आनंद रंग विनोद अमर आनंद रंग नामो ज्ञान नाम एस नाना हर नाम हमारे हर नाम हमारे कारज सवार हर नामो शोभा हर नामो शोभा नाम बढ़ाई नामो शोभा नाम बढ़ाई भोजल बेखम नाम हार तार आनंद रंग विनोद अमर आनंद रंग विनोद हमार 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 नाम गावन नाम ते आवन नाम गावन नाम ते आवन नाम हमारे प्राण आधार आनंद रंग विनोद हमार आनंद रंग विनोद हमार आनंद रंग विनोद हमार आनंद रंग विनोद हमार नाम ज्ञान नाम स्नाना नाम ज्ञान नाम स्नाना हर नाम हमारे कारज सवार हर नामो शोभा नाम बढ़ाई हर नामो शोभा नाम हर नामो शोभा नाम बढ़ाई हर नामो शोभा नाम बढ़ाई भोजल बिखम नाम हर तार भोजल बिखम नाम हर तार आनंद रंग विनोद हमार आनंद रंग विनोद हमार नाम गावन नाम ते आवन नाम गावन नाम ते आवन नाम हमारे प्राण आधार, आनंद रंग विनोद हमारा, आनंद रंग विनोद हमारा, आनंद रंग विनोद। अगम पदार्थ लाल अमोला, अगम पदार्थ लाल अमोला, अगम पदार्थ लाल अमोला, भयो परापत गुर चरनार, भयो परापत गुर चरनार। कहो नानक प्रभ भय कृपाला, कहो नानक प्रभ भय कृपाला, कहो नानक प्रभ, कहो नानक प्रभ, कहो नानक प्रभ भय कृपाला, कहो नानक प्रभ भय प्रभ भय कृपाला, कहो नानक प्रभ भय कृपाला, कहो नानक प्रभ भय कृपाला। मग्न पय दर सार, मग्न पय दर सार, आनंद रंग विनोद हमारा, आनंद रंग विनोद हमारा। नाम गावन नाम ते आवन, नाम गावन नाम ते आवन, नाम हमारे प्राण आधार, नाम हमारे प्राण आधार। आनंद रंग विनोद हमारा, आनंद रंग विनोद हमारा, आनंद रंग विनोद हमारा, आनंद रंग विनोद हमारा, आनंद रंग विनोद 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 हमारा, आनंद रंग The second Shabad, the first Shabad was Anand Rang Binod Hamara, which was sung in Rag Kannada. This was the type of Kannada which was sung in Sri Darbar Sahib 300-400 years ago. This composition was originated from Sri Darbar Sahib. The next Shabad is Ram Simar Eh Tera Kaaj Hai, which is by Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji in Rag Jai Javanti. And Rag Jai Javanti is a rag created by Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji out of the 4,000 or 5,000 rags that have originated from India. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji created the unique rag, Rag Jai Javanti. Ram Simar Eh Tera Kaaj Hai. संग त्याग माया को, संग त्याग प्रभु जू की शरण लाग माया को, संग त्याग प्रभु जू की शरण लाग। जगत सुख मान मिथ्या झूठो सब साज है। राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर, यह तेरा काज है, यह तेरा काज है। राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर। सुपने जो तन पहचान, सुपने जो तन पहचान, काहे पार करत मान। बारू की भीत जैसे वसुदा को राज है। राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर, यह तेरा काज है, यह तेरा काज है। राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर। नानक जन कहत बात, नानक जन कहत बात, बिन सजा तेरो गात। नानक जन कहत बात, बिन सजा तेरो गात। छिन्न छिन्न कर गयो काल, तैस जात आज है। राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर राम सिमर, यह तेरा काज है, यह तेरा काज है। राम सिमर 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 राम सिमर। रामकली महला तीजा, आनंद एक ओंकार, सतगुर प्रसाद। ਆਨੰਦ ਪਿਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਏ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਇਆ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਤਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਸਹਿਜ ਸੇਤੀ, ਮਨ ਵਜਿਆ ਵਾਦਾਇ। ਰਾਗ ਰਤਨ ਪਰਵਾਰ ਭਰਿਆ, ਸ਼ਬਦ ਗਾਵਣ ਆਇਆ, ਸ਼ਬਦੋ ਤਾ ਗਾਵੋ ਹਰੀ ਕੇਰਾ, ਮਨ ਜਿਨੀ ਵਸਾਇਆ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਆਨੰਦ ਹੋਆ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਇਆ, ਏ ਮਨ ਮੇਰਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਸਦਾ ਰਹੋ ਹਰ ਨਾਲ, ਹਰ ਨਾਲ ਰਹੋ ਤੂੰ ਮਨ ਮੇਰੇ, ਦੁਖ ਸਭ ਵਿਸਾਰਨਾ। ਅੰਗੀਕਾਰੋ ਕਰੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਕਾਰਜ ਸਭ ਸਵਾਰਨ, ਸਭਨਾ ਗਲਾ ਸਮਰੱਥ ਸੁਆਮੀ, ਸੋ ਕਿਉ ਮਨ ਹੋ ਵਿਸਾਰੇ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਮਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਦਾ ਰਹੋ ਹਰ ਨਾਲੇ, ਸਾਚੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਾ ਕਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਤੇਰਾ, ਕਰਤਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਭ ਕਿਛ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਤੇ ਸੋ ਪਾਵੇ। ਸਦਾ ਸਿਫਤ ਸਲਾਹ ਤੇਰੀ, ਨਾਮ ਮਨ ਵਸਾਵੇ, ਨਾਮ ਜਿਨ ਕੈ ਮਨ ਵਸਿਆ, ਵਾਜੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕਨੇਰੇ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੱਚੇ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਤੇਰਾ, ਸਚਾ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਆਧਾਰੋ, ਸਾਚ ਨਾਮ ਆਧਾਰ ਮੇਰਾ, ਜਿਨ ਭੁੱਖਾ ਸਭ ਗਵਾਏ। ਹਰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਸੁਖ ਮਨ ਆਏ, ਬਸਿਆ ਜਿਨ ਇੱਛਾ ਸਭ ਪੁਜਾਏ। ਸਦਾ ਕੁਰਬਾਨੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਗੁਰ ਵਿਠੋ, ਜਿਸ ਦਿਆ ਹੈ ਵਡਿਆਇਆ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਣੋ ਸੰਤੋ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤਰੋ ਪਿਆਰੋ, ਸਚਾ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਆਧਾਰੋ, ਵਾਜੇ ਪੰਚ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤਿਤ ਕਰ ਸਪਾਗ, ਕਰ ਸਪਾਗੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਾਜ, ਕਾਲਾ ਜਿਤ ਕਰ ਤਾਰਿਆ। ਪੰਚ ਦੂਤ ਤੁਧ ਵਸ ਕੀਤੇ, ਕਾਲ ਕੰਟਕ ਮਾਰਿਆ, ਤੁਰ ਕਰਮ ਪਾਇਆ, ਤੁਧ ਜਿਨ ਕਉ ਸੇ ਨਾਮ ਹਰ ਕੈ ਲਾਗੇ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਤਹ ਸੁਖ ਹੋਆ, ਤਿਤ ਕਰ ਅਨਹਦ ਵਾਜੇ, ਆਨੰਦ ਸੁਣੋ ਵਡ ਪਾਗੀ ਹੋ, ਸਗਲ ਮਨੋਰਥ ਪੂਰੇ। ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਪਾਇਆ, ਉਤਰੇ ਸਗਲ ਵਿਸੂਰੇ। ਦੁਖ ਰੋਗ ਸੰਤਾਪ ਉਤਰੇ, ਸੁਣੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਬਾਣੀ, ਸੰਤ ਸਾਜਨ ਪਏ ਸੜਸੇ ਪੂਰੇ, ਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਣ। ਸੁਨਤੇ ਪੁਨੀਤ ਕਹਤੇ ਪਵਿੱਤ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਰਹਿਆ ਭਰਪੂਰੇ। ਬਿਨਵੰਤ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰ ਚਰਨ ਲਾਗੇ, ਵਾਜੇ ਅਨਹਦ ਪੂਰੇ ਸਲੋਕ। ਪਵਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਿਤਾ, ਮਾਤਾ ਤਰਤ ਮਾਤ, ਦਿਵਸ ਰਾਤ ਦੋਇ ਦਾਈ ਦਾਇਆ, ਖੇਲੈ ਸਗਲ ਜਗਤ। ਚੰਗਿਆਇਆ ਬੁਰਿਆਇਆ ਭਾਚੈ ਧਰਮ ਦੂਰ, ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੇ ਨੇੜਾ ਕੇ ਦੂਰ। ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਇਆ ਗਏ ਮਸਕਤ ਕਾਲ, ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ। ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਇਆ ਗਏ ਮਸਕਤ ਕਾਲ, ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ।